Hey YouTube, it's your girl Javina Love back with another video. Welcome back, welcome back. How are you doing, my busy bee? You seem busy, I hope. Keeping it sexy, child. We try to always. And today, we have another multi-channel collab. Yes, with the Beauty Ninjas. We are slaying a look using one color, one palette at a time. Right? So if you, like me, use a lot of colors and a lot of different glitters, you have to use only one from like that palette and then move on to another color into another palette. So, I have pulled 6 palettes. I have not pulled my colors yet, but I figured we could do that together. So I'm going to prime my eyes and we will do that. Okay, so let's trust the process here. I'm primed with my Wet n Wild catsuit, and so I pulled 6 palettes. Now they were supposed to be our favorite palettes, but honestly all my palettes are my favorite palettes. I can't just pick one, that would be so bad. So I picked the Huda Beauty brown, Warm Brown Obsession palette, just so I can have some transitional shades. I also pulled the Huda Beauty Amethyst palette, because I think I'm doing a purpley green look, I think, or purpley burgundy look. I also pulled the Teddy palette from Hank & Henry. I pulled the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I've been trying to put a dent in this bad boy, but the only color I've been putting a dent in is this brown one right here. I also pulled some affordable palettes. I pulled, well, one affordable palette, the Wet n Wild SpongeBob collab, because this thing's got some really beautiful glitters in it that I need to really get into, and that's where we'll cut the crease. And then, because I also have to do this one, I've got my Made by Mitchell Feet on the Ground palette. This was such a great metaphorical palette that my daughter got me for Mother's Day, because she says I'm so grounded, I'm always on my game, and I'm like, girl, even though I feel like my head's in the cloud, this one really does speak to me. It's got an awesome black in it, okay? So that's where we're going to start. We are going to start dark and stormy, because that is the way I like it. Where'd you go? Looking for my handy mirror here. And I'm going to grab a not so thick, not too big blender. Couple of blenders. How are you guys doing while we do this look and get ready with me on this beautiful Sunday morning? I'm in it to win it. I'm not letting this depression keep me down. I'm not letting my anxiety keep me down, because that has been a big problem for me this whole year, is I've been feeling like I'm spiraling out of control and that it's just getting worse. So I have been seeing a doctor, and ooh, there's a little creasing going on right there. And I have been talking to a psychotherapist, which I will be seeing again in a day or two, to work on my PTSD, because I feel very lost right now since I've lost my grandfather and my grandmother, you know. It's really hard when I know that that's their title, grandparent, but they were my mom and dad, you know. I still have my mom, my biological mom, but she treats me more like a sister, and I love her to pieces. You guys know that. It's just, death has never been a good thing for me to deal with, and then losing my uncle right afterwards, it's just been, I've been on a roller coaster, y'all. I've been hurting pretty bad. I'm going to take a blender and just blend out that black and try not to lose too much of it, because I just wanted to darken up the outer V, and then I'm going to drag it into my crease, my real crease, not my making of a crease, you know what I mean? I've got that blended out to the best of my abilities in the way I want it, you know. I'm not really centered, you know? I don't know why I do that every time. I feel like I'm not symmetrical, you know? The one side I got a better eye than the other. and the other side I don't. You, life problems, right? The little problems that we really need to focus on, like, why can't I blend out on that eye? So I'm going to move the Made by Mitchell palette. I'm going to go into the Subculture palette, into that one shade that I was telling you about. It's called Rowdy, R-O-W-D-Y. I mean, she's super dark. And I'm going to use Rowdy all up in that black again. And it's just going to darken it up and give it like a burgundy hue. This is really pretty color. I just don't know why I gravitate just to that one shade. But I do love her. And I'm going to drag that a little bit more into the crease. See, she got pigment. Any other color I've used, it's like, you ain't got that kind of pigment, girl. Not like this one color. I don't know why she didn't stick to the formula. If you ever had any of the other Anastasias, you know what I'm talking about. How they're not consistent. They really aren't. But they're really good. Some of them are really good and some of them aren't. And this is the only one I can say. Because I've tried a couple of them. I tried the Carly Bible, took her butt back. Tried the Jackie Aina, regretted taking that one back. But it was one of them things. Oh my goodness, see how that Anastasia just took over. So now I'm going to go into the Teddy palette and get me a nice purple burgundy color over here. Same brush. And we're going to go above the crease just to blend everybody out with that dark burgundy purple color. Like, this is going to be a dark and stormy color concept for me. I don't know. I've just been feeling in a goth mood. All my goth babies know what I'm talking about. The little 13-year-old in me screaming, "Put the black on the skin." But to have that little oomph of color right there, and no worries, because we're cutting the crease, so all this excess won't be there. Ooh, she party. She is party. That is enough of the Teddy palette. So I'm going to grab me a Q-tip and my micellar water and clean up my eyes and prime them to cut the crease. Okay, so I've cut the crease, and I have not decided what exactly to do with the last three palettes. So I was thinking, I could keep a little gold in it, and I can keep a little greens concept, but I was like, but I really want to go with the purple blue. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll go into the Huda Beauty palette first, and I'm going to go into this purple here, and I'm just going to blindly jump in and see if that will do what I want it to do. We'll make mistakes together here. So I'm making it kind of like a C shape, following the eye, and cutting it down. I think that looks really pretty. It needs a little bit more oomph, but you get what you get when you get a purple, because it's so hard to formulate, and it's always my favorite color. But I think that works out really pretty. Since I want to put like a ton of colors on my eyes, right? And then there's a blue here in the SpongeBob palette. It's like a silvery blue. Let's see how she acts on the eye. She's cool, but she is falling out the house. So we're going to spray my eye, spray the brush, just so that all that fallout will stop flying around my eye. You know what? Let's just fill that all the way in, because this is not going to work the way I thought it would. And it's still very pretty. It's very bright, very pretty, right? It's very off of what I was... Ooh, let's spray this one with the eye. I'm using the Tarte Mist. It does help. It does help you guys stop the... You know, when you're starting to pat it on, you see a whole bunch of glitter flying around your face. Spraying your face and spraying the brush does help. I think that is so pretty. Alright. Just making sure it's nice and even to everything I want. Okay. This is hard, Barbara. Because I'm like, every color, one color. And I'm like, ooh, but it doesn't, I don't always get the color to concept to coordinate. So that's why I'm kind of like, ooh, this is kind of hard. Where'd my white piece go? Okay, give me 1 second to put on my face and we'll finish the eyes. Okay, so I had to pull a couple other palettes because I didn't want to cheat. I was like, no, can't go back in and smoke out the under eye with the same palettes, right? You got to use a different palette for each thing. So I pulled out the ColourPop. Is this ColourPop? Yes, ColourPop Hocus Pocus palette. Let's find us a color in here that we could smoke up the bottom lash line with. And I'm just going to use a slight angle brush, wet. Oh, and I should use it with just a touch of eyeliner. And I want to use a bright one, so I'm looking for a white or a cream, just so that it's really, really bright and eye-catching. So give me a second to do